go back and listen to like Commission.
I just accused somebody of being on cocaine.
We here now.
I'm convinced it's true. I won't say the
First of all, he doesn't like cocaine. He just like the way it smells.
Face dress.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the Vibe Controllers Podcast. Bird B, Cocky McFly, Fifth Child, out here.
This has absolutely nothing to do with what we about to be talking about. Cocaine, money, same thing. Let go. We out here, man. Happy New Year. Totally not the same. Yes, Lord. Big fun. Let's go. All right, man. Welcome to the Vibe Controllers Podcast. We appreciate y'all tapping in with us. I go by the name of Cocky McFly. That dude across the table from me is my brother, Merk B. Williams. Merk, say hey to the people. Happy New Year to everybody from the greatest of all time. Are you done? No. God damn it. Anyway, yeah, so we got some really special guests with us today, man. Our brothers, our friends, and super duper talented and professional black men in the banking industry and shit and all that. So we got my brother, man, Sedric, Brinson in the building. Sedric, say hey to the people.
What's up? I appreciate y'all having us on tonight, man. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, this nigga
What's
sound
up?
like video soul radio. This nigga is Donnie Simpson right now. Man, we got Big 40 in the building. Dallas stand up. Y'all give it up for our homie Ralph Clark. Ralph, say hey to the people, man.
What's going on, good people? Happy to be here.
Yeah. Man, I wish we had Southside the British paying in the background.
Oh my God.
We can't pay for this.
First of all, Steven got to sit on hell in here, so play that.
I got to get out that jack. And if Southside, if the artist,
man, this the ambiance. Like, you see the buttons?
I'm feeling great.
You seeing? he vibe controls that. I with it. But yeah, man, we're gonna have a great conversation today. Really, man, we're gonna have a very informative conversation about money and you know how you can get it, what you need to be doing with it, just all type of things that can really help our people being black people. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna vibe while we're doing it, and you already know what it is. We out here. All right, man. So again, we got our brothers, man. We got Sedric Brinson, we got Ralph Clark up in here, and you know, two young professional black brothers in the banking industry. You don't hear a lot of that. So cool story. We were talking pre-show, like y'all met in banking school.
Yeah,
so kind of tell us about like how you guys met, and then you know y'all can kind of talk about, you know, like what made you all get into like just the banking industry as a whole.
all right, cool. Well, we actually met at the Ole Miss School of Banking. I think on the live we said we were probably 3 brothers out of 250. So we just kind of naturally gravitated towards each other. Like we didn't have any other choice.
Yeah.
So it was, and Sid just happened to be one of the best dudes I've ever met in my life. So it was always, here we go.
There you go.
So it was always a natural kinship that we shared. And we actually hung out literally every single day. Every single day. And then we happened to be on the same group project our senior year. I ain't gonna say I said and helped him graduate, but
I pay homage. I will pay homage to. I will co-sign that. But just think about what you just said, though, man. 200 plus people,
right,
and 3 African American males. That spoke volumes to itself.
Yeah. So kind of my background. So I've been in banking almost 17, 18 years. Funny story is how I ended up in finance is, believe it or not, Trading Places. It's a movie about Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. I remember watching that as a kid, and you know, just being entertained. You know, we all laughed at the ape jokes and all the other stuff, but what it was I was like, yo, if something can make people go crazy about oranges and the money behind it, I need to learn that. So that's honestly how I did it. And I went to my uncle who owned an insurance agency here in Jackson for a number of years. It's like, yo, what is this? And then I had a cousin who actually owns a investment firm now, but at the time was a stockbroker. And he was like the only broker in, I think everybody knows, Old Jackson Deposit Guarantee.
Wow.
So he was the only brother that ever came through that program and ended up working at like Morgan Stanley and a few other places. So I was blessed to where I had a lot of good influences in my family to fall back on. And so when I graduated from Jackson State, my aunt actually went through Leadership Greater Jackson, shout out to them. And she was in the program with a dude who was the regional president. Said, look, my nephew need a job. So I started working there and just kind of progressed my career from there. Man, I think when most people think about banking, they think about tellers and retail banking.
Yep.
But when you actually get in it, you see how big and broad it is and how few of us are actually in it outside of the retail banking space. Man, it motivates you in a different way.
Yeah. So, see, what about you?
Yeah, that was definitely not my story. Upon leaving Tougaloo College in 2004,
Eagle Queen?
I was an education major. Thought I wanted to be a teacher and coach a sport or something like that. But during the summer of 2004, I was undecided, just trying to figure out what to do. And shout out to Terrell Brinson, who said, well, you got to figure that out because you won't be sitting around the house trying to discover what you're going to do with yourself. So I knew it was either go find a job or go to the rooftop with him in the dead of July. And I don't think that was my call at all. So I actually made a few calls, and I got to Bank Plus in 2004, and it was supposed to be just a summer gig, to get by until I can either, go back to school or come up with something else to do. So I got on there, and that part-time teller at North Park Pear Orchard, shout out to them, ended up being a 14-year career, man. And what happened during that span was I just found my niche with people. Yeah. It was more than just cashing checks and making deposits. They said, your character speaks volumes and this needs to be on a different platform. So promotions started happening. I'm thinking about going back to school or doing something else, but the work itself and the accomplishments that we were able to make started speaking for itself. So that turned into what we said on live. I've been doing it now over 18 years. So, it does speak back to the passion and the wanting to see people financially, not free, but well, and well says an understanding. It just has a better knowledge of the things that they're trying to accomplish. So that's it in a nutshell.
I think it's, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, I was going to say, I think it's dope. Just listening to both of you guys' story, what kind of sticks out for me is, even though both of them, it's different and it's unconventional, both of you guys' story, it's like a lot of times we get to, I guess, whatever the apex is of the journey, but it's all of these things that we go through within it to prepare us for it. Like you talked about wanting to go into education, thinking that's what you wanted to do. And it's ironic that even that experience prepared you for now, because you are educating people.
That's right.
And you already had these skills to be able to talk to folks. Ralph was an athlete. I'm sure he probably felt like he was going to be playing sports for the rest of his life.
No, absolutely not.
But
I appreciate it.
But how when you're young,
yeah,
what I'm saying, and you kind of matriculate through this life. All right, I'm going to Jackson State. I came from Dallas. I'm about to do this, and this. And then again, it's cool that both of you guys have these amazing people skills. Like, not necessarily, obviously you're able to teach and all of that stuff, but I think what's important is that you guys are able to meet people exactly where they are and break it down to anybody to be able to understand how whatever it is works. And I think that's important because a lot of people are intimidated when it comes to money or wanting to know about money because, you know, they may not feel like they possess enough knowledge about it. But you guys are able to break that down to where they can understand it. And I think that's super cool. So
yeah, and so another thing, which, you know, we were talking about, y'all are a few. Very, very few. And I have seen y'all's social media pages and pictures that you take when you at work. And it ain't a lot of people that be looking like y'all in them pictures, bro. And I think that, you know, like, it's very hard to advance in that system and look like you. Because it doesn't matter. A lot of times, and I know I've talked to Ralph a lot and have seen him experience where you put the work in.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, it's like you still need to do this. Like, it's still something there. So kind of speak about y'all's experiences just being professional black men who have very, very, very high positions in these, these major companies.
So I like to put numbers behind mine. So I'm not gonna put my place of employment out there because I need my check on the 1st and 15th.
Yeah, man, don't do it.
But just to put the numbers behind it, we employ over 3,200 people, and they are exactly 5 African American senior lenders.
That's insane.
And there are 0 black women. I mean, not even in the space.
So 3,200.
3,200 employees.
5 black people.
5. And I can name them.
No women. Oh, well, I would hope so.
I know what.
Right.
No, 2
No
of them.
women.
Yeah,
For sure.
And 3 of them are here in the Metro Jackson area.
That's not even like 2%.
No, that's less.
If
way.
that, less than 1.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's less than 1.
That's crazy.
And we're not even. So 3 of them here in the metro area. 1 of them's in Selma, Montgomery, Alabama. If you know anything about Selma, Montgomery, that ain't no easy place to be. And we have 1 person in Memphis. So, and we are in 5 to 6 states, I believe, including Houston, Texas. So that just kind of puts the numbers behind some of the stuff that we experience as far as trying to climb the corporate ladder. Even more when you go into these spaces, they move the goal line. So one of the most frustrating things that I think a lot of us who are in the career deal with is a shifting base. Like, if you do this, you'll get this. If you do that, you'll end up here. And then ultimately in the end, you're still fighting. So one of the things that keeps me motivated is because I have to clear a space for the next person. One of the things that I don't have a lot of beefs with the previous generation, but one of the biggest complaints that I have is that we don't mentor and we don't groom our next ones.
Yep.
Like, that's why I'm huge on mentoring in and out the community, the banking community, and in life in general, is because I wasn't groomed. Like, we know, like everybody else, man, the last thing we get is time. We can't get that back.
Right. Yep.
And time wasted on places that just were a waste. Like, I can think of 5 years I wasted just trying to figure stuff out because I had nobody to guide me on where to spend my time and effort, or when to move, or when not to move, or how to move, or this, that, and the other. So one of the biggest things that I do, like I did this yesterday, where it was a young brother who just got hired like 4 months ago, and they were introducing me to him, not even thinking. So I pulled the dude aside and said, look, man, here's my cell, here's my card. Like, yo, come holler at me, I'll take you to lunch. Like, if you're serious about making this a career, I'm serious about mentoring you because we need more of us in those spaces so we can get access to capital.
Yep.
Like, I know we're going to get to that later, but man, we can talk about that all day.
Well, that's where definitely we align, Ralph, because mentorship, purposeful living, because of the experiences that we've had. I've sat in offices where, it was succession plans were null and void,
Right.
and that you weren't a part of a succession plan.
Yep.
But the work that you put in, the efforts that you made, I remember purposely when I knew a supervisor of mine or a boss of mine was going to be out of the office, I ramped it up 10 times because I wanted him or her to come back and know that it was taken care of. Those are the extra things that we had to do to be recognized, to get promoted, and do things like that. It was unconventional. We had to do those extra things to get some form of notoriety. And believe it or not, it was never about the notoriety. We were going to do it anyway because we came from a servantship of wanting to see people do well.
Yeah.
So that definitely matriculated into what now a huge mentor program we were able to start here a couple of years ago called Leaders Engaged in Action and Development. And it was strictly because of not having those opportunities back when we were coming up through our careers. We wanted to see people, we wanted to see young people thrive and have a go-to factor of somebody they can go to, and because you went down that road, they not make the same mistakes and know how to get ahead of them.
Absolutely. And, just so you know, one of the crazy things is how Sid and I got really, really close was we were a support system for each other.
No doubt.
When we came back from Ole Miss,
how many times I got?
Man, we talked consistently because when you meet other like-minded brothers who are really trying to climb, you kind of naturally gravitate towards each other, and we need that support because we're not getting it elsewhere. So he and I have had, like, when he made the move to his current company, I was one of the first calls that he made, like, man, what you think about this? And, and same thing, like, moves that I've tried to make in my career, I've called him, and we've been a resource to each other. So it's always good to have that support system with you at all times.
Good shit. So, as we were talking offline, and I'm just gonna let y'all go. Like, we'll just ask, like, what are some common misconceptions about your job from your people? Like,
I think the most common question we get is when we tell people we work at a financial institution, most of them say which branch or which your tellerware or your FSRware.
Yeah.
Because the biggest misconception is that African Americans can't have upward mobility inside some of these financial institutions. So they're always surprised when they find, like, you. And then the second misconception is that you're a token. That you just got there because of the color of your skin and don't have the ability to help them in their situation or scenario. That hurts, and then it also is kind of like, man, you got to work harder to change the narrative. And thirdly is that these institutions are not meant for them. Sometimes we get caught up in the fighting the system and not realizing that you can have an impact inside the system. Now, I'm all for, creating different systems and alternative ways to get money or capital back in our community. But I'm also about, hey, but this is what we got right now. So you got to take advantage of it and learn the ways to where we can help you. So those are the top three just off the top of the head.
For me, it was, being a teller, and having a little bit of seniority, and people would call and, want you to pull strings for them and things like that. Can you get this approved and this not, which is cool. But the misconception is that we stayed there and there was no growth beyond that. And so to be where we are now, speaks volumes to, having thick skin, because you had to have a little bit of it. Because those comments like that, if you don't have the thick skin, it can set you back. You can get in your feelings about the truth of knowing that opportunities back then weren't there. And so there is joy in knowing that we've overcome a ton of that. And we are in a heightened level of diversity, equity, inclusion that's been pushing since COVID 2020. And, we probably jump in there a little later, but there's a lot of misconceptions, but there's a lot of overcoming that we've done to bridge those gaps.
No, you can jump into it. You ain't got
Let me be Channing Crowder for a minute, because I want to know. What is the most asinine thing that you have been asked, or when as it relates to money? Because obviously we have people who are coming there with this novice type level of knowledge, but or what they call it, a champagne taste with beer money, but want to ask for any and everything. What's the craziest thing that you have, or like a story, a situation that you may have dealt with? Just off the top of your head, I know it's several. You've been in the game for 49 years, so I know it's a lot.
So I don't like shouting out other podcasts on podcasts. So we're not gonna advertise the competition, but no, I'm just messing with you.
They need to put us on. Pivot, holler at us, put us on.
What was it? The one with Tank and the light skinned dude, and they do that segment. I ain't saying no names, so we're gonna do. So we're gonna do our own little rendition of I ain't saying no names. Probably so one story is so I had a dude come in my office and wanted a loan for a business, a local business here that's actually pretty halfway decent successful. But the issue was he was cash flowing the business out of his own pocket, and some of the funds weren't necessarily up to par, so to speak. He had a secondary occupation that we're not going to mention on this podcast, but it was quite interesting. So he brings the stuff in and sits down with me, fills out the paperwork really, really nice and everything else. And I'm like, man, so what is this right here? Like, where did this, you got a lot of cash. He was like, yeah, man, I'm finally out the dope game, so I'm in here to get some legitimate money. So at that point, I was like, he was so respectful.
I can appreciate the honesty. So, I'm not selling crack no more. Can you help me out?
I'm like, look, this restaurant is finally clean. I was like, I don't know if we can put that on the application, my dude. But
you washing the money.
So that was literally on a Friday at like 3:00, and I was like, you know what, my week is over. I'm about to control alt delete. I'm out. The second thing is my people. No more restaurants. Like
no,
enough.
We got a lot of them though.
I love y'all.
We gonna order. We gonna open the restaurant.
But bruh, it's only so many chicken wing, catfish. I know I'm stepping on toes here. My people, we gotta evolve. Like we gotta come up with something greater.
Like a juice bar.
Fry that thing hard. I mean, come on.
Yeah, let me tell you. I'm with some fish fried hard.
I feel you, but we gonna keep a wing spot available with some Hennessy sauce or something, some special sauce to go with it.
So, it's the truth though,
but
it's not sustainable.
But I would say the businesses that we invest in or in our communities tend to be the same. And I realized a long time ago it's because that's traditionally how our elders got out of debt. Like those were the ownership places that they could have was the church, restaurants, or some form of entertainment establishment. So when we need money or funds, or we want to start to be an entrepreneur, those are typically those things that we go back to because those are the things that we know. But from a financial standpoint or a banking standpoint, they're probably the worst ones that we lend to. Those are the ones that we look at the hardest because there's one on every corner. And your competition is McDonald's, Wendy's, and everybody else. So I might like your Hennessy wings, but I don't know if they're going to sell to the mass community in Jackson, Mississippi.
And you're going to be closed Monday.
Exactly. So yeah. But those are the top two. I ain't saying no names.
For me, it's the lack of use of automated services, i.e. online banking.
Come on, somebody.
Apps.
They bringing that check in there. They bringing it in there.
Yeah. It's the dispute process. I mean, if you waited till the 15th of the month to look at your statement, only to discover that you don't recognize 4 or 5 charges, like, there's an app for that. Y'all heard that before. you should get up every morning and take a look at your account. I mean, seriously, because it helps. It
Say your
helps.
prayers, look at your account.
Right. It helps. It helps your financial institution for not to have to research 30 days of your statements, and you went to Target. You know you went there. You trying to dispute $32.
Man, frustrated.
I'm just saying. I'm here to help, right? We're here to help.
We're here to educate.
$32.59 plus the overdraft fee that comes along with it, because you're gonna want that back too. And there's an employee that's gonna have to research that for 30 minutes for validity. You know, you're gonna have to fill out this questionnaire, and we're gonna dispute it. You know, good thing about most institutions now, there are processes where you can get your money back faster. You know, and we won't have to give you that 10 to 15 day turnaround, on that $32.25 at Target. So right now for me, it's the misconception of we work miracles on small items. Now granted, there are some things that happen. There's black market hacks, people getting your information and stealing your car. Those are legitimate, and I don't want to make light of those, but the trends are out there. When you travel, inform your institution that you're gonna go out of town and this is where I'm gonna be, so they can monitor your accounts and things. So
that's on the app.
On automation, stop waiting on those statements in that mailbox and get your stuff online. If you don't have access to the internet, that's a whole nother issue.
Technology is your friend.
But technology, we're in 23, man. It's time to upgrade.
You ain't got no internet in 2023, man.
I mean, there are some areas, I don't want to make light of that, because there are some areas that are really underfunded that need some help with that.
Look, if my grandma got an iPhone, bro, y'all ain't got no excuse.
No excuses.
It might be a 4, but it's an iPhone.
She got it.
She got bars.
She got some bars.
She got some bars.
She might be on a 2G network, but she out here.
Man, that's wild, bro.
Stop. Get rid of statements, man. Paper statement. It's gotta go.
You really feel sometimes.
He beefing out here.
Save the trees, man. Save the trees. Beat that nigga. I take you out on a night cruise on a yacht. You just can't lose, because we got a lot to look forward to. 1, 2. What you gonna do? Like, he didn't get his bitch no choice. Like, come on.
That boy said, he got you on
what
lockdown.
Good is a dime?
But I got the
Nobody can see. I hear he got you on lockdown, but I got the master key. That's rape.
That's crazy, bro.
That is fucking rape, nigga.
He is recording. Just so y'all know.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
Back to the money.
Boy, see, y'all can put this in your show, but I just want you to.
When you sing it, I'm gonna look at you little funny.
I ain't gonna look at you funny. We gonna know.
You done had that
people
on the
not
slow
gonna know.
jams back in the
You
day.
You did. You had it on your tape, man. But
That intro was fire.
Oh, listen.
The flute.
The man really did. He had a synthesized piccolo on the opening. I don't even know how you get that shit.
All right, let's bring us on back to where we is.
Oh,
not a
yeah,
stock sound.
you know it's showtime.
Where
It's
we
coming.
supposed to be here.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. No, you fine.
Back to the money.
So yeah, I didn't forget the damn quick.
Education.
Yes. So one of the things that we lack, not just in our communities, but in schools, just homes, is just financial literacy. Like even the basic stuff. Like I can say I learned on the fly, and they ain't got. Some people's situations are different. You know what I'm saying? You stay in the house with a mama got some kids. She ain't got time to be putting that into you. But that's where the mentorship and stuff comes in and stuff too. But yeah, man, from you all's perspective, from and also from career wise, because as we were talking on the break, you don't see a lot of the positions that you all have. You don't see those on these company websites. It's literally you got to just be a teller, and you got to do that 2 or 3 years before you even get. And it's just there's really no upward trajectory. So, whose responsibility is it? Also from an educational standpoint, And then as far as financial literacy is concerned, to get that information out to our communities, and then also, we can tap in on how we can, get young folks, to know about these careers and that upward movement.
Gotcha. So that answer is actually twofold.
Yeah.
To begin with, it's on the educational system, it's on other people, because a kid is a kid, right? So it's on us to educate them on things that we know, and like I said earlier, to mentor them and give them the tools necessary to do it. But then as you grow older, it's on you to educate yourself. So
Accountability, I like it.
yeah, so there's definitely a level of accountability that comes into it. Because I think, like a lot of us, I mean, back when I was in school, they used to give you that credit card, that student credit card. They send in the mail or whatnot, and everybody running up that $500 Visa. Back then buying Tommy Hilfiger jeans and whatever,
Kerry
and polo boots.
did it.
So
Express for me.
and then on top of that, I mean,
Yeah, man.
shout out Stephen Brown with he'll give a sermon on student loan debt. And the student loan debt trap, hopefully Joe Biden saved me and the rest of these souls out here. but I'm not counting on
I
it.
wish there was a Steven when I was in school.
Right. So there's a certain level that, ignorance definitely plays a part in financial literacy and education, because if I don't have it, I can't give it to you. But then there's also an accountability to be where, as I like to say, man, black folks have learned or mastered how to be broke. But we still struggle with how to have something.
What a quote.
Come on, boy.
So
Can you repeat that, please, one more
oh,
time?
absolutely. Like I said, black folks know the struggle and understand how to be broke. What we need to master is learning how to have something and growing it. So when it comes to education, with me in particular, when it came to my career, I turned down no educational opportunities. If there was, like, for example, a lot of people don't know this, man. So when I first got into banking, I actually made the switch over, and I was a stockbroker for a little while. I got my securities license, did the whole nine. And how I did that is because it was a white lady working at the branch where I was. And, what white privilege allows you to turn down educational opportunities, because they'll always come back around. So when I got there immediately, I was like, yo, I need my series license, I need this, that, and the other. And I would bother the regional manager, like, literally every day, like, yo, I need this. Like, when's the test? Like, how I sign up for the classes? And I would bother him. And so he was like, well, she's got seniority on you, but I'm not sure if she wants to take the test. So me being me, I went in there and was like, man, you're kind of long in the tooth. You don't want to take that test. This test's hard. So when she turned it down, I went straight to him. She don't want to do it. And I was in the class the next week. So you have to be self-starting, or you have to have some level of accountability to kind of get the education you need in order to have the financial products and understand them. Like understanding interest rates, understanding the different types of accounts, understanding, I think we were talking on the live about how to purchase a home, the things that you need, or how to graduate yourself to a different level of financial freedom, because that's what we want. Because I think I was reading what was it? I was reading a book last week, I can't remember the name, where I think the latest statistics show us that 85% of African Americans are still living check to check. Meaning that if something happened and they lost their job immediately, it's financial calamity.
Right.
Like, that's incredible in 2023.
Yeah.
Now, and then too, they were saying like 60% of households are check to check. So that means half of our people who are married, if one of the spouses loses their position or job,
It's a rap.
Turmoil.
it's over with.
Yeah.
So everything changes in an instant, right? So we have to be more financially prudent and seek out those educational opportunities in order to get us over the hump.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing that, then come on, people.
Yeah. Now, was that Mississippians or Americans?
No, that was Americans.
That was American.
Like, I hate to say it, but Mississippians, we tend to be on the tail end of that. So any type of
Yep.
any type of barometer that shows us on education, finances, or anything like that, we tend to end on the tail end of the spectrum. So if it's 60% nationwide of households, it'll probably be closer to 80 for Mississippi.
Jump in. I was going to tell you, jump right in.
I asked that question because, I did some Mississippi studies, and you were absolutely right. 85% of Mississippians don't have a $500 savings for an emergency. And that emergency being a tire, emergency bill that's got to get. I'm talking about something happens real quick. Okay, I can run and grab it. 85%, bro, of Mississippians cannot run and grab that. So, immediately you think about what you spend money on weekly that could take you out of that 85% in an instant. We don't have to. I love char, but you don't have to go there 4 or 5 times a week for lunch.
We are officially, I got food at the house. Years old.
I've been that way.
I mean, and it's crazy because once you do it and it becomes a habit, you can appreciate it. And when you relieve yourself of being a statistic, which Ralph just said, people are comfortable with being broke. Not me.
Man,
I'm gonna let something go to not be a statistic.
I'd be nervous,
right?
And this isn't to pick on the people who are in the have-not category, because one of the things that I think that we get in the habit of is slamming those who don't have
elitist mentality,
don't necessarily have the tools yet. One of the things that I hate is pull yourself up by the bootstraps, right? That don't count if you ain't got no boot.
And that don't mean they ain't doing that.
Right? Exactly. So sometimes, man, sometimes people just don't have the opportunity, or lifes, and they're not given the access to everything else. One thing about Mississippi, when we look at Jackson Public Schools, we look at some of the other institutions around here, man, it's sad. Like we're not able to educate them to the standard because we're critically underfunded. We're presented with teacher shortages because we don't pay a livable wage. I remember telling somebody else that when it comes to teachers, for those who are just solely teachers, I know very few who don't have second jobs, right? So they're making second jobs to just make ends meet to educate your kids. So how do you pour financial literacy and education in there when they're barely able to keep the standard of education up to begin with? Right. But like I said, once you get to a certain point, hopefully you educate yourself and want to educate yourself. Because we all been there. I'm a ball out, so I'm gonna throw it all away.
Right.
If I had that discipline at 24, right, that I have at 41.
Hey, let me tell you, I had a done something with them refund checks.
Man, I remember the first refund check. I went to Steinmark.
You hear me?
I'm talking about. I told Morgan, my cousin, I was like, yo, I'm about to switch up my whole style. Gee. I went in there and bought
slacks and polo shirts.
This is a low top Eastland.
Man, it was killing her. You giving a 18, 19-year-old kid $1,200 tax-free dollars. And you telling me to be responsible? No, I am going to be fresh at the step show.
Now look here, you Fred, but ain't got a damn in your pocket. You just spent all the money on the clothes.
Oh man,
mine was a pop face Pioneer.
It was cool too.
You car radio. You had your radio.
The radio was probably the dopest thing on the car.
But it's something about getting in that car and you got to pop it out before you get out and go in the store.
Had that click case.
That's right.
You got it.
Carried it with you.
Oh man, y'all don't know the struggle till you had your CD book stolen.
Man, what you talking about? God, man, that's sad. You know, cause the CD wasn't cheap.
Yeah. You had the rad.
Well, you burnt 50%.
Burnt 50%.
You had the rad with
shout out LimeWire.
You had the cord with the tape. And then you had the CD flip right there, and you got the whole, you got the clip
So it would skip.
right there.
Oh, that was the aux cord before the car got.
You got to put that joint on your lap, so when you hit them potholes, it don't bump skip you. Regular. Imagine trying to listen to some ill ass scratch.
Oh my god!
Shit bump.
First of all, I listen to Juvenile 400 Degrees like that, holding it in my hand, traveling up how.
Oh, you put in that little compartment right there. You got
music
So
loud.
right.
Can't hear none of
Ghetto
them
D,
tweeters. You can't hear none of them tweeters. Like, look at you can hear him coming.
And this is why we was broke, doing dumb shit.
But you know, back to the question though, it is the individual's responsibility. But as we grow as professionals and obtain this knowledge, I take personal accountability to helping my people understand not to have some of the struggles that we've seen, especially inside the organization or the financial institution. Like there are some things out there that if they knew, a lot of people are struggling with just not knowing. They mean well, but it's our responsibility as the, I guess, professionals to get the word out so our people can stop struggling like they are.
Also, let's talk, if y'all don't mind, man, let's talk a little bit about some of the misconceptions. Like some of the old wives' tales that they get told or repeated that just don't make no sense. When we first came in, I looked up there and saw Jessica's name and saw business formation consultant, right? And Stephen was explaining to us about how people are out here charging $35. I'm not sorry, not $35, $350 to set up your LLC. Got people. Google is your friend,
Right.
like
That in YouTube University.
like there are a lot of different people. People prey on your ignorance. They're predatory towards misinformation and knowledge. So if you don't know, the best thing is to research for yourself and try to educate yourself until you get a point till you have somebody in your corner knowledgeable enough to present that to you. So that's number one. There, two, if your high school classmate didn't pass geometry and algebra, how they gonna be your financial advisor? Right?
Doing your taxes, fucking them up.
Like, let's be real, let's be clear.
Yeah.
And get right
I
tax
tell this story all the time. The funny money, the cryptocurrency. I didn't get into that. Like, this is a true story. I was working in downtown Jackson, and this is when crypto at first like really took off, right? And everybody and their mama was crypto mining and talking about, man, let me tell you about this and then the other, and nobody could ever explain to me like what was the asset in it, like how did it derive its value, right? I said, so me being me, I was like, so what's stopping me from starting Clark currency? If y'all want to just start it, like just give me $1,000. I promise you it'll be all right, right? And I was literally in the subway in the Regents building, right? And the dude who was making my sandwich was telling me, like, bro, man, I'm out here making a killing on this crypto. Like, I need you to get in it. And I was sitting there saying, like, my dude, you just asked me if I wanted extra lettuce. Like, how are you gonna tell me about some crypto mining and be a financial advisor?
And he ain't owning the subway.
Man,
he working there.
My guy was asking me extra tomatoes and mayonnaise.
Yeah.
So I realized, like, okay, this ain't for
Check
everybody.
your sources, people.
I realized that this isn't for everybody. So there's a lot of misconceptions out there when it comes to investing as well. Let's be real. Super rich, wealthy people are not in the stock market like that. They are not playing stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, whatever financial phrase you can think of. Where they derive their wealth from is an asset, meaning something tangible that you can hold on to. Companies, real estate, something that you can hold on to. So when you think about your finances and you think about how you're going to grow them, think about how you're going to grow your assets, what you can own. Like my man Steven's in the music business, his masters, his publishing, his royalties, the business of music, all that. Like Google. No, read your contracts as well, people.
Resources.
This is the worst movie. Yeah. Typically we be into the movie. Don't play this. What was the name of this? Players Ball? Players Ball. Yeah, don't play this shit no more. If y'all got Tubi, don't go watch Play Us Ball.
Hey, I'm picking the movie
It's
next
some
time.
bullshit.
Cause let me tell you, you starting the year off wrong.
Terrible.
You
Play
failed.
Us with Alan Payne.
Alan Payne.
Look, he still ain't got no lines.
Look at the cast. I mean, the cast.
I don't know none of these.
It was some big old suits, boy.
Oh, this is definitely early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like when I saw that Jaguar.
12 buttons.
That's them.
That boy he looked like Lamar Odom and
That's
Derek
them. I was
Luke
just about
at
to
the
say that's
same
them
time.
draft suits, man.
Yeah. Oh, that T-Mac.
They get drafted.
T-Mac.
The LeBron.
Yeah, man. Them 63 buttons.
I saw
Parachute suits.
Ain't that the boy used to? No.
Nah, that ain't the rapper.
I thought that was the rap dude.
Like
It's my
Sinbad.
Mac 10?
No.
No, the
Also,
used to be
that's
the
hilarious.
gospel rap.
But no, that is not
Gospel
Mac 10.
Yeah,
Is there a worse genre than gospel rap?
man. I hate that it's called that.
Listen,
That's a whole nother conversation for another thing.
You can't be talking. Okay, Tretch out here.
All right, time to end the show.
You should have known it. Tretch out
Tretch.
here, boy.
All right, yeah. We sorry. We watching this
God.
terrible movie. Look, thank y'all so much for tapping in with the Vibe Controls, man. Y'all give it up again for our guest this evening, Ralph Clark, Sedric Brinson.
Yes, indeed.
Man, thank y'all so much for coming and dropping all your knowledge and things of that sort. We really, really appreciate that. And while we in the spirit, man, tell the folks how they can get in touch with y'all if you would like to. Not Ralph.
I don't mind.
We gonna protect our privacy. You can follow us on the official 601 Live.
Oh, facts. I can use that too.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Tell the people how they can tap in with you and how they can get in touch with folks about you, all the stuff you got going on.
Yeah, man. Well, with me, it's about getting the word out. So, Facebook, Sedric Brinson, Instagram, Brinson24. I'm sorry. And I do a ton of public speaking, churches. By the way, I think our churches need this. Maybe we substitute a Bible class for a financial literacy, but we just pray before we get started. Would that count?
And
Absolutely.
afterwards.
And
Church of business too. They need to hear.
That's right. Yeah. So it's about helping our people. So if I can be of any service to anyone, just let me know.
Yeah. Rap said y'all can't follow him.
Oh,
Rap, you on the speaking circuit?
Oh, you can reach me at comedian Merk B. Williams. Cocky McFly
Hell no.
You can't.
and Fifth Chisel.
You can't. You can reach
All
him.
three mediums will get
Get
you the fourth.
All right, man. Look, Merc, what you got coming?
See y'all Saturday at Johnny T's, man. That's where I'm gonna be at. Yeah, y'all finna get this work. Shout out to Rita Brink. We celebrating the goat bash. So it's gonna be a bunch of goats on the bill. Myself and my homie Nardo. We holding down the hosting. Kier Thomas performing. Tiny Boy Ken and Jonte Mayon. Bunch of people, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Also, shout out to Nardo as well too. I think he's at Trio that night later on as well. They celebrating their 1 year anniversary. Also,
Get your money, motto.
so I'm boy out here double booked. We just got to shout people out. I know we talked about it earlier, but you know that man Boom out here too. Coach Boom out here. He gonna be at Howlin' Miles as well too. So it's a good night to be in the city. I know Cocky is gonna tell you about his event, but it's just a good night to get out in the city and support. So all three of the people that are on this show, well, except for 40, cause he gonna be at the show.
Y'all can't let 40 make an appearance.
Well,
man.
3 people are performing, and so it's a good chance for people to get out and see, folks do their thing or whatever. So yeah, man.
I've been blessed to see all of them, and they're amazing.
There you go, Ralph. That's what you're supposed to say as a friend that's on this podcast that would like to come back.
They let me in, y'all.
Anyway, yeah, you can check me out this Saturday as well. I'm at the JSU E Center at the Mississippi. The Black Excellence. What the fuck is the name of that shit?
Black Excellence Networking Mixer.
It's too much shit to
That
be
check is clear.
All black everything.
I can't wait to talk about it. They told me I can't curse. So what? That's fine.
So the old people must be there.
Nah, it's a networking event.
There's some older people who being said. So that's fine. I got all the old people jokes for it. But yeah, so I'll be there at the Mississippi. I'm sorry, the JSU East Center. And Sedric gonna be there too with the official 601 live band. So I would tell y'all can come, but you can't because it's sold out. You ain't got no ticket.
Yeah.
Sorry for you. So
I gotta hear about it. So.
yeah, that part.
Oh, they gonna post it.
Now I don't know where the after party is, but we ain't telling y'all. I'm going somewhere after because I'm not finna be dressed up. Ain't nobody finna see me. You hear me? Because I think it's gonna be a little older crowd in there, so that means ain't nobody in there. I'm gonna be checking for. I need to go somewhere.
It's gonna be cold. Auntie's gonna be out.
Aunties.
I might slide on them pool, just walk around one time. The whole club just walk around.
Man, listen, I'm going everywhere.
Take 2 pictures.
I'm taking a
leave.
tour of the city Saturday night. I'm going in every venue that will not require me to pay a fee to enter. I don't know what's happening on this TV screen, but we watching players ball.
Anyway,
Play
also,
whatever.
as always, you can check out the Vibe Controls podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Check us out on our next episode as well. Man, we got a special that's on February the 6th. Y'all gonna love that because we gonna have 2 lovely young ladies in here with us.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have Miss Candace Coleman, and we're gonna have Miss Carolyn Cole, and we're gonna be talking
Hold
about
up, Candace gonna be here.
Candace Coleman
Oh yeah.
and
Man,
Caroline
let me
Cole,
tell y'all,
and we gonna be in
they
here.
top tier.
We gonna be in here discussing our thoughts on the Best Man final chapter.
I am
So
excited about
y'all
this
gonna want to
shit.
be here for that. We're gonna be playing the Best Man in the background, and Candace has already requested that we have some prosecco. So
You can have whatever you like.
all right, anyway, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Don't mess this up. That's enough.
I'm not.
So
I get paid Wednesday. I'm going to get the stuff. I'm gonna leave it right here at the back. Briarwood's Art Center.
look, Carolyn, I don't know what you drink, but you look like a dog. But I'm just saying,
She do look like she like a little yak.
Little yak, but I
You
don't know
look
what
like
you
Big Fun.
We got you though. We got you. Anyway, but yeah, as we were saying,
I'm famous, better.
also, we still got our merch drop. If you click on the link in our bio, you can go check that out. That ends on February 1st, man. Make sure y'all go and copy some Vibe Controls merch, wear that stuff, represent, and tag us in it, man. Also, shout out to So Effing Dope magazine for the magnificent feature. Yeah, man, we definitely appreciate that.
You can check it out digital.
You can
Yeah,
check
but
it out
if you like to
digital.
buy a copy, you can buy one too.
You can. Shout out to Jack Patterson II. If he ain't taking them photos,
Yeah, I got the birthday photos.
so
I got
we
the
out
call
here,
Jack.
man. Yeah. So as we like to do at the end of every episode, man, we like to leave y'all with a little something, a little nugget, a little something to carry on through the day, through the week, through the hour, the minute, whenever you're listening to us. And today we get 2 nuggets from 2 niggas. And we really just appreciate y'all so much for being here to drop the nuggets on the people.
Bang bang.
Sedric and Rap, if you would like, whoever would like to go first.
Come on, Reverend or Deacon, pick one.
Amen.
Reverend or Reverend.
I'll be the deacon then.
All hearts and minds satisfied.
Hey, you know what's ironic? Both y'all daddy preach.
That's facts.
That's
Okay.
very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick nugget. A dream without a plan is nothing but a wish. So,
What on y'all?
once again, a dream without a plan is nothing but a wish. So let's stop dreaming and let's get to planning.
Yeah.
All right, come on, Deacon Brinson. I know.
Well,
that
that was definitely benediction worthy.
Absolutely.
But if I say anything, I'll just say that people bank with people.
Right.
They don't bank with buildings or names. They bank with people that they can trust. And we talked about resources all night. So get with somebody that is going to have your best interest at heart, and have the discussion. Ask the questions. No question is a dumb one. You've heard that, and some people, that opinion is still out. But check your resources. Go to people that you can trust, and people that have your best interest at heart want to see you succeed. think that's us in this room.
Magnificent, man. We love that.
Let me tell you.
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
would like both of y'all to record my voice messages for me.
Anyway, again, we appreciate y'all coming down, man. Thank y'all so much for taking time out your super busy schedules to come here and kick it with us, man.
Thank you to your wife, because they see them cheering.
You know, and while y'all wasn't listening, we already got a link up. Sid gonna come back to the BAC and do a thing, man.
At the
So,
BAC.
you know, this is what we here for.
Yes.
When boy Keymar Kane said that 2023 is a year of collaboration, get with your people, link up. It's time to use these resources. But again, man, we appreciate y'all again. Tap in with us, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud. Follow us on Instagram. Join the Facebook group, man. We got so much stuff coming up. It's gonna be a magnificent year. You better get on the ride. Get the fuck out the way. Mert.
Yeah, y'all already know what it is, man. Y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay free. Y'all share that shit, please.
Already 2 fingers up means peace to the side, because I'm chilling. If you listen to the podcast,
You got to do
you
it.
got to damn say it.
Come on.
Come on, Brown.
We waiting on it.
You got to say it.
Say what?
You got to say it out here, but you got to say it like
You gotta say it, you gotta say it like
say
that.
it like that. Out here. Okay, Ralph. Out here. See it. Out here.
That's what I'm saying. We done 2023 all right.
Oh, yeah.